Welcome to New and In Between, hosted by me, Mia Quinn Maddox, where I'll be discussing the hows and whys to my journey towards my faith. I've learned through my highs and lows that this path is not mine to travel alone. Join me mid journey as I embrace my wins, losses, and everything in between. Hello, everyone. Yes, I am wearing the same outfit because this is my bonus episode. I have the pleasure. Oh my gosh. This is like very exciting to me, and I wanted to make sure that I ended the season with this bonus episode. I got David Haddad to come and sit on my sofa with me. Now, anyone who lives in New York City or in LA or if you've seen these big movie trucks, you see them all the time because a few of them, we take your parking, we're in your neighborhoods, they're big trucks. They say Haddads. I have David Haddad here. So welcome, David Haddad.
So fun to be here today to chat it
I'm
up.
so excited that you agreed to come and sit on the sofa.
Thank you for the invite.
Thank you. How are you?
We're doing okay. Things are a little weird in the film industry right now. It's winding down traditionally because it's Christmas holidays. But there's some concerns that things will be fairly wonky over the next 6 months. You know, we experienced COVID, the actors strike, the IATSE and Teamsters, and things are a little weird. People haven't worked for a while, so we'll try to stay optimistic.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, as we say in New York.
Yeah, I mean, people don't really understand the residual effects of the strike are still affecting the ground crew, which is us and the companies who provide the things that I live on a Haddad truck. That's where I spend majority of my time as a wardrobe, just in wardrobe in general. It's where we keep all the costumes. So I spend a good amount of my time, and he has done a lot of research and just talking and to get these trucks to be perfect so that they feel kind of like an office, like your second home, because we do spend so much time there. So where did this idea even come from?
Well, we grew up as a family gas station in a town called Pleasant Hills, Pittsburgh, PA. And my dad raised $3,000 in 1954 and became an Amoco gasoline dealer. And they weren't making it work. First day, first week, first month, the family would come and help pump gas. That's when gas was like 18 cents a gallon.
Wow.
And he wasn't able to make that work, so he ended up doing repair work. Again, back in the days. He was a welder for Jones & Laughlin Steel, and he was a graveyard mechanic at a Chrysler garage, and he worked at his brother-in-law's Amoco station in Pittsburgh. So that's how the connection happened. And they evolved into repair work, and then he ended up getting tow trucks slowly. These were times we had no family car. We rode around in the truck in the car, and I learned to drive on the tow trucks. And back then it was all manual steering and no power or anything. And then against the advice of his lawyer, his insurance agent, and his accountant, he bought a used pickup truck. I think it was maybe 1967, and began a mom and pop truck rental. So we rented to college kids and to companies. And I graduated from college in 1977 on a Sunday and went to work on Monday, but I had work there all the time. And we continued to rent to the public, and then the movie Flashdance came to Pittsburgh in 1982. We rented them one box truck, and it was not a big deal. It's not like movie making is now. Most of the equipment and the people came from LA. Ron Howard shot a movie 2 years later called Gung Ho. Who knew that we'd be walking the steps of that movie? And we worked for the same LA people. And then it just evolved into the late 80s when we actually bought some used equipment from California. And then we really began to deal with it. I ran into Ann Roth, who we know are Oscar-winning designer, in 1989 on her Alibi in Baltimore. And I was just blown away by this woman, and we have become friends and close friends. And most of the things you see in the wardrobe trailer you're in are from her and her team from way back in the 90s. And they've all
I
become
know it has to be an
designers.
expert.
Oh, yeah. She was very clear in what she wanted, and she taught me quite a bit. I do have to say, when I have fun, a designer might come in and be a little too arrogant or a little too aloof, so I'll let them talk and chat, and they may not like something here or something there, but I'll just continue, and then I'll wait and say, oh, well, Ann Roth helped me design it, and then I just walk away.
I mean, your trucks are the best for me. I love the setup of the wardrobe truck, and you're always open to, if you want something changed or done, you always do it. So I think, anyone who thinks they're not that good, maybe they should build their own.
Well, a lot of people have tried, and that happens. Competition keeps you sharp, but I think one of the things that makes us a better vendor in the country is we listen and try to understand and ask questions. We have the courage to be wrong. We have the courage to try, but not everybody is up for it. And when I met you, right, came in. We had this conversation. I knew you had the jazz and you had the game, but it's scary because you really get into the psychological stuff of like, you want to do the right thing, you want to please the clients, and I think we do an okay job.
No, I think you guys do a great job, and I can say that just from being, this is my 10th year in film and television, 25 over in entertainment, but for me, I feel like out of all the trucks that I've been on, it's the most functionable, and it works. It works. Everything works.
That is so cool. It's the symmetry, right? Like a moving parts, like a video game, or we design it to create. The goal is to create a space where, whether it's makeup or wardrobe or actors, to create a space where you're not distracted by the environment, and the environment is efficient and not disruptive, hopefully calming. And for wardrobe, a team that goes into our trailers, they smile. We get asked for because it is. They're really built ergonomically designed. Everything's in the right place at the right time, and there's a heater in the right spot when you need it. And then another thing we do that's different than Klein is we do outreach. So every other week, our technicians come straight to the trailer and chat with the driver, but we go past the driver and we go in and talk to the people who are using it, because the goal isn't that we check with you. The goal is that your space is productive every day and that you're not thinking about us.
Yeah, no, that and that makes sense, because when I come in, I know that I got to do the laundry, and I need to make sure my washer and dryer is working, and we are on these large trucks, so you want to come in and it be warm because the walls are cold. Like, it's not like an insulated kind of. I'm on a truck.
Oh yeah, the everything that's in those trailers, not only were from Ann Roth, but for other wardrobe supervisors and crew, everything we do is designed from the conversation, from the racks, the double racks, the drawers on the bottom, the placement of the washer and dryer up front as opposed to the back, increasing the water capacity. It's actually a lot of moving things,
moving parts
going on.
People don't realize how much what's inside those trucks. They just see. They don't really see, like, there's a full bathroom in the actors' trailers, and there's mirrors, and there's lights, and there's refrigerators, and there's heats and things that have to get pulled out and put back in. So it's a lot of thought that goes
I had a conversation with a New Yorker, and she was telling me that she was cold in the back of the trailer. This is 15 years ago, and I couldn't figure out why she was cold, because there's 3 heating systems in that trailer. So I'm in there chatting with her 2:00 in the morning, just hanging out. And here I realized that the thermostat for the rear of the trailer was put in an area in the front to make it convenient for the driver. So it would be warm in the front and cold in the back, but there was no thermostat to tell the heater to go on. So we went back and
you switched
fixed it. And then I think probably when I met you, I walked you right to the back of the trailer to show you that thermostat.
Yes. Some of the drivers like to keep that one locked up. Like, don't turn that one on, because I guess.
Yeah, sometimes they get, depending on the driver, they're hesitant. They don't want to replace the the propane. Even in the rear of the trailer, there was a woman named Shelby in the drawers in the back. We actually modified a trailer once for her. Went, oh, this is a great idea. And then we call it the Shelby drawers. And then chicken boxes were in the corner. So when we originally built the trailers, the chicken boxes would stick out a quarter inch and hang up. It was just annoying, because all of us want symmetry. So we went back and changed the depth of those. And those are things, it's ongoing upgrades that as you learn, you have to have back to that courage again to go back and change it and grow it. So we're, you're never really done. I think our latest upgrade was we have those metal diamond plate on the inside, as you know, and that's there because it prevents a more pleasant interior. And then we have diamond plate on the outside, and that's to protect the trailer so there's less damage to production. Well, here we created this sandwich, and the internet, people were having problems with the internet. So now we've gone back and we had free Wi-Fi, which production likes. So now you can get Wi-Fi in the trailer because it's not one of those add-on boxes, but with an antenna. So those are an example of just listening and
just things that you upgrade. And as we change too, because like now we don't use as many chicken boxes, and we might use bins, and just
it makes you more efficient, and hopefully the day more pleasant.
Yeah, and I mean I've seen the improvements over the years too, like just little added thing like the hooks that we use when we tie the racks down and when we lock the truck down, and all kind of things that weren't there before that I do remember.
We had I don't know if you saw the movie Midnight Express, but at the end of the movie, the guard gets killed, and the person runs them into this wall, and a hook that's on the wall goes through the back of the guy's head. So when I'm teaching my team, when they're constructing it, every now and then a hook will show out, and I tell them the story of the movie. So the hook, that's why they're higher. For that reason, someone could bump their eye or their head, but you wouldn't know that unless you're like really into the trailer.
No, I mean, and I noticed that they're higher, but never thought about reasoning behind why it was that way. But that's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. So now let me ask you, because for me, being in entertainment, I find it's a big sacrifice just on my, it's a big sacrifice on my time. It's a big sacrifice on my family. How do you feel about that, and how did you deal with that as you built your company to what it is now?
I'm married to an amazing woman, Karen Haddad, Saint Karen, we call her, because she's a saint and I'm crazy and a rascal running around. It's a good relationship. She has the ability to sit at a table and you would think she's very conversational, but she's very shy, and it just works. And then we had 3 kids, and she was a CPA, worked for our company, and she retired 3 times, and we brought her back 3 times because of COVID. And she's very smart, and we're both in our late 60s, approaching 70s, and it's been a long journey, 41 years. 2 of my kids work for the company, 2 of the 3. Daughter Kelly, who's here actually in New York today, and my son DJ, and they're 37, 35, and my oldest daughter's 39. The oldest daughter lives out in California.
Okay.
So they grew up in the business. And the business, when we started, 82, 88, it sort of took off. New York, we did most of our work was West Coast, and then we start working in New York, getting calls 94, 95, 96. I avoided New York. We worked in Boston, Chicago, Utah, New Mexico. We're sending equipment from Pittsburgh to all these places. It was a different time. And now we prefer New York work. We prefer New York producers. There's something about New York. You can have an argument and you finish with the argument and you go get a beer.
Yep.
In New York, it's about a work. And because we're global and domestic, I see the different crews, the grip and electric and the mentality of the people. And I'll take a New York crew all the time because the crew, it's an athletic event. Making a movie is an athletic event.
You can say that again.
Yeah, and you can't hit the ball every day, and you can't get on base all the time. And there's something I call it to be a great crew person. You have to be OCD, obsessive compulsive. You have to have that energy. And Karen Haddad lets me be me. And I found most of the people that I meet, including actors, have that skill set, I call it, where you can embrace that mentality. And it has to be a thoughtless process, like an athletic event. You see a running back and he goes left or right and goes, you see them, how the heck did they do that, right? Their brain's moving so fast, that's so instinctive. And that's if you know any of your viewers are thinking about getting in the business, you have to really want it. You have to want it naturally, every day, all the time, without thinking about it. To do well and enjoy your craft.
Yeah. So your wife is a key.
Karen Haddad keeps us balanced. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm happy to hear that, because so many people blame the industry on the failures of their family, and it could be whatever the case may be, but
well, first of all, we don't judge anyone.
Exactly.
And we don't walk their steps. That's for sure. And we know the basis of all relationships is communication. And so I always say you have your conscious brain and your unconscious brain. So your unconscious brain is the one that has you doing things that maybe you shouldn't have said yes or no. And then your conscious brain is like, well, I shouldn't be doing that. And you always sort of have that argument. I don't want to say good and evil, but left and right, yes and no.
Yeah.
And then people who are obsessive compulsive are always evaluating those two. Sometimes they forget and they react. It's like, oh yeah, no, that maybe not be the best plan. Whatever it is, whether you're buying something or say yes or no or talk to somebody, it's complicated.
Listen, isn't life?
Life is complicated.
That's just life this complicated. How do you stay so? You are also a very kind person. How do you stay in that mindset? Like, how do you stay so kind and so cheerful? And I mean, if anyone who has met David, he just has a spirit, and it's a spirit about him and an energy about him. And it's not just at work, because I did get the honor of we went to a Yankee game together. And I mean, everyone is just like, hi, David, and hi, David. And I mean, even if you didn't know him, you just have this energy about. How do you maintain that?
Because I can see people. I can see who they are. Not every day. I'm not perfect at it, but I can absorb it. So I'm empathetic. So, first of all, let's talk about the Yankees. Great. So the fact that you were a Yankee fan meant you were a cut above. Because, you get the Mets fans or the Pirates fans, they like broken relationships and the struggle. The Yankees,
we don't judge.
the Yankees, whether they win or not, you just feel good. Even when they lose, it's the Yankees. So that when I met you, I went, oh. Now, if you were a Mets fan, maybe not so much. I remember in the early days of, I took a production manager to a game and I bought a Yankee hat. It was $20 at the time. It was a lot of money. And I went to give it to her and we were walking in and she violently shoved the hat back at me and said, declared I'm a Mets fan, like it would be some immortal, horrible.
We have that?
Oh my God, yes. And that was the beginning of my journey. My wife is a Pirates fan.
Ooh.
So Pirates and Mets is sort of, they just, they got their whole deal. We won't spend a lot of time talking about it, but when you compare them to the Yankees. So that was the reason. And I never ask anyone to go to a Yankees game unless they like the Yankees, because it's like a waste of the gift of the good time.
And the seats are amazing. So no, it was a great time. My dad was a Yankee fan. My youngest nephew's a Yankee fan. He's going to be a Yankee, and I'm not going to say nothing different because that's just what he says. So he's gotten me into baseball, and it's how I was able to connect with my younger nephew. My older one is into fashion, so we connect on that level, and the younger one, I connect with him to baseball. I didn't know anything about baseball, but if I want to be connected to him, got to learn what he likes, and that's what I did.
So to answer your question, so you brought up God earlier, I heard in the other interview, and I'm not deeply religious, but I do value the person. So if you value people when you're speaking to them, and you can just slow it down a hair, because now I'm in my late 60s, I can take my time in a conversation, observe people, whether it's dinner or work, that kind of stuff. And people are amazing, and I can see, and we're not perfect.
Yeah.
I think people are having an issue with us all not being perfect. Like, I said it wrong, I did it wrong.
Imperfections.
Yeah, as long as you're trying to win as long as you're trying, honestly. And you can have a bad day. You can have a bad month. We know people with personal experiences. You're carrying a burden. They have a sick relative or something's going on at home. That's a backpack of bricks, and it's hard to be focused and it's hard to be communicative. So I remember somebody was having marriage issues, and I just couldn't understand the problems. Then you have the ups and valleys in your own life. And oh, now I get it. And I didn't have anything close to what they have. So I think that's in my current state of work world is I'm just aware of all the things and how difficult it can be. And it's it's nice to put a smile on someone's face and crack a joke and in the midst of the battle.
That's something that I'm trying to learn as just as being put in a leadership. I've always been a leader, but to be a real sufficient leader, I think that's a skill that you have to have.
Have you heard of RBF, resting bitch face?
Yes, I have that.
So in the 90s, okay, that's good that you had the courage to say that. But in the 90s, I became aware of it. And then because someone had said to me, you have RBF. So I went in the mirror and I actually looked. And when I'm not smiling, I look pretty pissed off. Yeah.
I mean, and you're tall, so it can be intimidating.
So when I have coworkers that have RBF, because, it's just, that's the deal. Now we have digital phones, right? So I'll have them do 4 or 5 facial expressions, and then I'll show them swipe so they can educate their brain, and it's whatever they want. But the idea is just to make sure you're aware that that smile is so powerful. Your eyes, my eyes, when you meet people, it's all about the eyes. Everything else doesn't matter. And the eyes really do the talking. And if you think about it, in the film business, what makes a great actor, what makes a poor actor, an average actor, they do that close up. They're doing a close up of their face and they're looking at their eyes. It's really interesting.
Yeah. No, it is. I remember doing a video with 50 and me and my sister talk about this all the time. It was 50 and Justin Timberlake, and he is a video called AO Technology, and they're filming him through the peephole, and he's behind the door. And me and my sister were both like, oh my gosh, like the intensity when he sang the song that came through his eyes made us be like almost blush, like, oh my God.
You can feel like a warm, like in your veins.
Yes. I'm actually practicing that because I do have resting bitch face. And what I started doing was saying, I'm going to, when I go outside, I have to make 10 people smile at me. So basically I just, while I'm walking, I just, if I make eye contact with someone, I smile. And
I do
sometimes they smile back, sometimes they don't, but I set a goal for myself so that then it just becomes, my face becomes more pleasant, because if you're not approachable.
So in this story, my dad had passed away, and I was taking my mom somewhere, and we were going, it was a sad time, it was a couple months later, and we went through a toll booth in Maryland, and the lady that I was talking to, I was engaging her. Right, making her talk to me, making her smile for a minute, 1 second, and my mom's mood changed, laughing because my dad used to do the same thing. You could just take a second with someone and acknowledge them, and it takes practice. To your point, so why do rock and roll bands practice? Why do those football teams practice? The basketball teams, all the sporting events, they practice and they create that muscle behavior, that running back I was talking earlier. So once you become aware that, I hate to use the word skill set, but I think everybody has it in them, but you have to be aware, self-aware that you can affect other people just with a smile. And in New York, I look at everyone and smile. And I do a survey, maybe like 78% will smile back. It's fun.
Yeah, and then I remember us having a conversation and saying, you like to look, when you look at people, you like to look at their hair and their clothes and just all the characteristics that make a person a person. And I started doing that, and I'm like, oh wow, you don't really realize how just in walking, you're just walking past each other, becomes so mechanical that you don't even realize. And also too, I started giving compliments when I see something. It's like, oh my God, girl, your hair is cute. Or I like your boots. Or I like, you look nice today.
Yeah.
I was in
Detroit 2 days ago, and it was now 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning with a bunch of film people. And these 2 gals walked in, and this one lady had the most amazing shoes that were zebra stripe, but not specifically, just black and white. So I yelled over, "I love your shoes." Giant smile on her face, because she picked those shoes as a reflection of her mood and her character. And then when you do something like that, I think it just makes people
it's like a
feel
little
better.
boost.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
Sometimes I drive St. Karen nuts when I'll take the time, man or woman, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. I just think, you need to acknowledge it. Although, and you get in a little deeper, is the why. Why did they choose that shoe or that hairstyle or those earrings or the glasses or the belt with a guy or his pants,
No, and I mean that's part of. I mean, that must be why you and Ann Roth became such good friends, because when you are a wardrobe person, you think that far. Like when you're creating an image for someone, you're thinking of why would they have chosen that shoe? That pant would look good on them because of this reason. It's a reason to everything, because I'm doing this color, or this is how I felt, or it's a reason behind every piece, and we don't think about that part.
Well, for wardrobe, what I've learned from my friends is, and in particular, is when she creates. So I create a trailer, makeup, whatever it is, camera, so that actors can have the mental space and physical space. She creates a physical wardrobe space for them to imagine that character, down to if it's a woman with a purse and it's shot in the 50s, she goes into what would a woman carry and puts it in the purse. It's not seen on camera. Wow. In pockets, things that you don't see, she thinks of and is really good at it. They had a thing at the DGA honoring her, and it was a lot of fun for me, and I went to watch her and this woman that I adore and love. And they had Steven Spielberg gave a message, and in his own way, he said part of his shtick was, I didn't realize that when I hired Ann Roth that I would be working for her, because she has clarity, even from her younger days, on how something should be, and she has that chemistry, her gift to be able to project it and her message to be heard. And she influences filmmaking to a good, even down to crossover with hair. She will speak up. Yeah. Sounds like an Ann Roth commercial here.
No, I mean, it's just important because you do have so many people who want to be in the entertainment industry. And as we are learning of more of the positions that are available, not just actors, it's good for people to know that if you do want to be in costumes or a costume designer, that just because you could dress yourself or maybe dress your friend, there's a lot of depth that goes into creating the clothes that go to a character in a television show.
And it's not quick. It's a lot of thought. When I first start working in the business, I was out at the Universal lot in 89, 91, and I went past this building, and it was a costume building. It had Edith Head's name on it, who was before Ann Roth, but Ann knew her. Oh, okay. So recently I asked her, which I won't repeat the stories, but I recently asked about this lady. So before Ann Roth, there was Edith. And if you're in the costume designing business, it's always good to see what people did, their history. I think Ann also designed. She kept telling me about this Broadway play that she was designing, and I'm only half paying attention. It was Book of Mormons.
I did see that. I saw Book of
Mormons
really? In high school. I did, and that's one that I do remember. Yeah. I do remember that one.
Yeah, just like that. And she multitasks. I did a job recently with her, with James L. Brooks, as the truck person. I wasn't on the crew, and she was out there. She came out of retirement to do the job. I think there's reshoots coming. And her and I would be chatting, and in the mid-sentence, an actor would buy. She'd not even just skip a beat, turn left. You need to do that. Go get the purse, blah, blah, blah. And even at 92, like this.
She's 92.
Yeah.
I think you work until
she's going to be mad that I gave her age.
I mean, listen, I just hope, we all hope to still have that type of, our industry is not easy. So to be able to still do that at 92 is because she's mastered it. Like at that point now, it's just second nature to her. Her brain is just trained to it. She could do it.
She's everybody's grandmother. But getting back to the film industry we were talking earlier. So right now is a difficult time. In North America, we'll include Canada.
Yeah.
I was just at Trilith Sound Stages in Atlanta last week to visit someone. They have 39 stages and they're all empty. And I went to another one called Shadowbox and they're all empty. And there were only 7 jobs shooting in that state. So it's just a weird time that in my 45 years and 5,500 movies, I've never experienced this, nor has anyone else. So I've been calling it a Fauci moment. Dr. Fauci was there. He was on TV. We're all watching, and he was saying there could be a couple 100,000 people dying from COVID, and we couldn't get our heads around it. So, everyone in the business that's listening today, I would say, let's just hang in there till June of 25, and we should see an uptick. Logically, we should see an uptick, and if we don't see an uptick by then we're going to all have to have career assessments on what the future is going to look like. Because right now, this adjustment period going on, no mortal or AI program can tell us what's going to happen.
Yeah.
In our area, actually, the United States, there's not a lot of pilots that were shot.
No pilots.
They're shooting Canada. They're shooting in Ireland is an area. It's less money. And then I think people should remember, your viewers that are interested in what we do, is this is a profit business. They make movies to make money. And we've all forgotten that because we've just been so successful. And this current climate for the decision makers is they don't know what to do. And that's why they're not greenlighting stuff. They don't know what to do. If they felt they could make money, they would have already done it.
That is
right.
That is
so, and I don't really believe that the studios are losing any money. So when our company's losing money, that means there's more money going out than coming in. When they say they're losing money, they have less money coming in, but they're not losing money because they have more coming in, going out. And they need to make money, and it's not a sin. And Paramount, those studios, they pay for those buildings, and people, they need to make money, real money. So we want that. That's not a negative or a dirty word, but I don't know what to expect. I'm trying to stay optimistic. It's a difficult time. I've reminded many people around the country the unemployment rate is at a 60-year low. So there's other work. Our business is known as the golden handcuffs. So it's hard, but we have to do what we do. Remember back, in the 50s and the 60s, there was movie theaters, Warner theaters, right? Black and white film. A lot of babies being made, right? Not a lot going on. You're hanging out, enjoying life. And it was a different culture. Everybody worked. That was the way it was. There weren't any distractions. Everybody had 3 jobs. And then the baby boomers were born, and they try to make their life better. And then my kids, and then their kids' kids. So now there's an adjustment going on for crew, learning what tough times are.
Yeah.
And we always want it better, but we know, as we've said many times, you're stronger at the other end of the journey. So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that you even said that, because there are so many people just in my space too that are not working, and we don't know, and there are no real answers or anyone to really tell us like, hey, I don't know, but just to have someone to speak on just to speak to everyone and say that we hold on, but also too, like I said, digging your treasure chest. We've all picked up amazing things throughout our careers. You got to hone into that. Like, I never thought that I would be doing a podcast. I'm a podcaster now. Like, I love to say that, but I had to dig into my treasure chest of experience and have the courage to maybe fail, have the courage to do something that I never did before, and it's working out for me. Like, it's working out really good. So I'm
back to that. You can't hit the ball if you don't take a swing, kind of thing.
And
that's what we need to do within the film community. I was part of an incredible group of people in September of last year, 2 years ago, actually. It would have been 1 year now. And we put together an event under the Kosciuszko Bridge. We had 1,000 people coming, and it was September. I think the work stoppage ended in October, November, and it was, everybody came together. Some people were selling crafts that they had made, to make money. The hair people came, were giving free haircuts to people. It was a pretty,
hear about that.
It was a pretty historic event. and hopefully we won't have to live that in 26. We'll see when the guilds renew again.
Yeah. I mean, it's things change, and you have to be able to pivot with the change and be patient and be resilient. And I feel like these are all characteristics and qualities that I see across the board in all of my friends who are like in sound and hair and makeup and
You got to ask for help. You got to go to family. And
that
I have
part.
friends that were borrowing 10, 20,000. New York rent's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult. And you know, we are New Yorkers,
We are.
and we will come out stronger, but we have to endure the pain of life.
All storms end.
Yeah.
You know, rain doesn't go forever.
So how many podcasts have you done?
So this will be I've done 3 seasons. So I'm about at 40 episodes.
Wow.
So
That's pretty cool.
My year anniversary is Christmas, because I released last year Christmas. So you're my bonus episode.
Oh, well, thank you.
I was
Thank
so
you.
excited. I was
It's
like,
fun to be here.
yes.
And then where do your viewers see these previous 39, 38 episodes?
So I'm on YouTube. I have Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. But YouTube is I love my sets, and I love the fact that it's like set up like a talk show. So I suggest people to watch it on YouTube because
So they'd type in what on YouTube?
New and In Between.
Say that one more time.
New and In Between.
Write that down.
Yep.
Or just push rewind.
There we go. New and In Between. And we'll put the Instagram down there now. New and In Between, the YouTube link and everything. And I have credits that roll at the end.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
We don't want to miss that window to get it out there.
We got to make sure. And I always like to make sure that I put all of my guest information. So if you had anything that you wanted to share. But I do want you to just give us give everyone a little bit of advice on just life advice. Like, what do you give your kids when they come to you like, Dad, this is going on?
Well, you have to make the decision. Well, the first advice I give is, do you have a crisis? So a lot of people knee-jerk react to a moment, and there's a real crisis like life and death medical, or the crisis is, I don't know what to do. And then if you could just slow it down a beat and realize you don't have to make a decision this moment or that moment. And then that gives you context to figure out your pathway forward. So usually we're in a rush to solve things. The younger generation maybe hasn't experienced pain and suffering and life stuff. So, you know, they tend to want to resolve it right away. That's human. That's where we're hardwired. So I would just say, in general, to slow it down, go get a cup of coffee, talk to your friends, have a courage to admit your possible failures in that transaction that didn't go well, and try to do the right thing. That's all. Just don't be. Everybody's a little hard on themselves these days, and I was also to myself on my journey. But it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay as long as you're genuine about it.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like you have to incorporate the failures. If you plan for failure, then when it happens, it's not such a surprise and a shock, because it does happen, and everyone does fail at some point. And it's just a matter if you get back up and keep trying or keep going, because it's a pivot. I might have went a little bit too far left, but if I go 1 inch over, it might work out. And you know, I gotta try to see.
Yeah, there was movies. George Burns, his old movies called "Oh God" and "Oh God" Book 2. Which I would recommend to all your viewers to read. But in the writing, the context, I can't remember, it's been a while, but he was saying that you can't have good without bad. I always say left without right.
Yeah, it's like a blessing without a burden.
Yeah, yes. So it's trying to find a balance daily. Change is the only thing that's for sure. We're enjoying this moment right now. An hour from now, it could be ugly. I might have a parking ticket outside because I parked in a commercial. So,
well, I hope not.
Well, you know, it was not. If I get one, that's a consequence of my decision. I need to own it and pay it, and that's the deal. So, acknowledging change. You mentioned God earlier in the area. You know, the Bible or whatever religion it is always, I think, pressing the agenda. To treat others how you want to be treated, you know, and with dignity and respect. And I think there's an organic struggle kind of getting off course in the movies.
No.
But there's an organic struggle the way we're hardwired, because it's hard to do that.
No, it is.
You know, and it does require focus, just like the athletic event, and it does require that moment, whether it's 2 seconds or 30 seconds a day or throughout the day. Use Siri on your cell phone.
Yeah,
say
you gotta
something nice.
practice.
It takes practice to get that culture in your brain, but you let it go for 3 or 4 days and you'll lose your way again.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay,
Yeah.
as long as you're trying to win.
Yeah. That is the truth.
I do have a Desi Lucy story for you.
Go
I
ahead.
don't know what our time is. I
we
wasn't
have some
watching.
time. I would love to hear an amazing
So
story,
in New
'cause you
York,
know everybody.
In New York, you'll notice that for your viewers, a honey wagon is a semi-trailer usually with 10 separate doors, and there's a men's and a women's room, and then there's 8 other doors for actors and crew and offices. So when we first came to New York
Mm-hmm.
in the 90s, we had men's and women's on the door, like you would think.
Mm-hmm.
But in New York, anyone saw men's and women. You had the general public
using
the bathrooms. And even though our holding tanks are gigantic, the tanks are filling up, and I couldn't figure out why.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to an old timer decades before, and then I remembered. So we just put Desi, men's, and Lucy, but only the crew, knows. That's the deal. And then there's an Instagram, I don't know what it is, Haddad's Instagram
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it works, but hashtag Haddad's. If you go on there,
Mm-hmm.
there's pictures from 2014 and 50, my oldest daughter showed me, where people take pictures in front of the honey wagon and in front of Desi Lucy. Some people are looking for Desi and Lucy. They think it's an actor or actress, right? Obviously,
I've been called Lucy
Desi,
many
Lucy,
times.
Arnaz, right? So it's a fun little Haddad thing. So if any of your viewers go buy our honey wagon, take pictures in front of Desi and Lucy and post them at that hashtag Haddads for fun.
There we go. No, I know, because sometimes I've been called Lucy because they're like, oh, I'm like, no, that's the bathroom. But we also don't ever say that that's the bathroom, because then, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and they call it, so the question also had come up over years past is, why do they call it a honey wagon?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is, when these were developed in LA in the 70s, they always had a smell, a poop smell.
Mm-hmm.
And the machine that would come out was called a honey dipper. So the honey wagon would smell so sweet, honey wagon, but it's not really sweet. It's
we get
not,
it.
yeah.
We get it.
So that's how the slang came for honey wagons. It was because of the poop smell. But you don't say poop smell. That doesn't sound cool. But
See,
you call it a honey wagon.
Oh, it's a honey wagon because it's
Yeah.
like a honeycomb with all the doors.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
yeah.
So no, that's not it. This is the real deal,
that is-
coming from the real person who created it.
Behind the scenes. And it's not a fun job, those men and women that operate them.
No.
Yeah, people can be kind of
Yes.
nasty all
I
the
mean, and I mean, oh wow, you are so right. Because my sister's a stunt actress, so sometimes she gets put in the honey wagon. So she comes with her candles and her spray and her this.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that.
not in a Haddad honey wagon. A Haddad honey wagon never smells and it never freezes.
No, it does not freeze. That is true.
We are hired for those 2 reasons.
Yeah.
But it's good that she carries that.
She brings that stuff anyway. She's like, I gotta make sure, I gotta set my room up to make sure it smells good.
I actually, you can tell her when in my travel, my suitcase, I carry 2 small bounce boxes of fabric softener.
Mm-hmm.
And if I get in a hotel room or wherever I am, I'll pull the sheets out.
And put them around.
Yeah, because it's a subtle smell. Also, if you're in a beach area, it absorbs moisture. And you know how you get in those rooms by the seashore that has
sometimes they have like that kind of moldy, not moldy,
Yes.
but like a wet,
moldy.
Mhm.
I stayed in Savannah. We were doing, actually, it was a Gemini Man, but I stayed at a friend's cottage that he had rested. And I went into my room. It was a small room. It was still a guy, a bro thing,
Mhm.
and it had that smell. And I'm like, and I was going out of my mind. I didn't want to offend him
Mhm.
because I wasn't staying. I went, oh, I have those boxes.
There you go.
So I put in maybe 35 sheets, shut the door.
Mhm.
I came back, it was perfect. And I ran into the guy's wife a week later, and apparently they grew up in Charleston and they like that smell.
Mhm.
I don't. I'm, northern,
Yeah.
nice, and she told me she had counted 35. That's how I knew the number. She had pulled 35 sheets everywhere, but I survived. And then I went back again a month later. I got a hotel room. I just wasn't going to do that
Listen,
again.
you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But I do, because my family is from Beaufort, South Carolina. So
Oh.
I'm very familiar with that. It's like a dank
I don't even know how to smell it. Like,
kind of smell. Like, it's why I don't stay in our family home. I stay when we did stay there, I would stay in a hotel. It's an acquired smell. I guess you got to live there.
Well,
I guess people don't smell what we smell when they get here, garbage and all the other stuff that New York City smells like.
Oh, yeah. I was walking with St. Karen, and she's not a fan of the New York garbage smell, which I don't smell. We were walking along, and oh my God, there was this gigantic cockroach, like walking, and she's with me. We're hand in hand, we're walking, and I stopped. She chills out. I went, oh my God, I think he's from Men in Black. Wasn't he Men in Black? Because it was just such a big. And we did not kill it. We walked around because it would have been wrong.
Yeah, no, I don't.
He was just doing his thing.
And you don't even know how big, what's going to come out. I don't want that on the bottom of my shoe. Many a times I see them, I cross the street, I walk over, I'm not stepping there.
Yeah, and then, for New Yorkers, as a sidebar, when you see rats in New York, they never run towards you. They always run away. Mm-hmm. So people like chill out. They see her, chill out a little minute.
Yeah, they're not going to chase
If you just bang your foot down, they take off, and they're going to run the other way. They're not going to run to the noise.
I had one run across my foot, but I knew he wasn't trying to get me. I know he was just trying
He's just passing through.
I know, and
you were in the wrong place.
I was, but I've never been chased by a rat, so you are right. I definitely will put my foot down and scatter.
Now, raccoon might be different. Like, they crawl out of sewers. They'll come at you. But New York rats,
raccoons and suburban raccoons are different. These city raccoons.
I've never seen a raccoon in the city.
Yeah,
I didn't know we had them.
All in Harlem now.
Really?
Yeah. If you go on Instagram, they have all these videos of people who have raccoons in the city, in the Bronx too.
I'm gonna Google it.
You should.
Right,
you'll go down the rabbit hole. I'm telling you, it's a rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah, rats just stay in their lane, which is a New York thing. We all stay in our lane. We do our thing. Yeah.
So, David, we're going to wrap it up. I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Just thank you for sharing just the insight and the wisdom that you've given us. I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful yes, my job ended, but there are so many amazing relationships and lessons learned and things that I've gained from that job that I'm grateful. So thank you.
I am grateful to have met you and to have our universes align.
Yes.
And I hope they stay aligned in life. We have times where you pass and then you go, it doesn't mean the relationship's over, but I'm going to enjoy every moment. And I'm so grateful to be here and to witness. I'll look forward to seeing this. And I hope that your viewers enjoy and they watch many, many more times.
Thank you. I hope that for myself too. Many seasons to come.
Absolutely.
So everyone, click like and subscribe. Subscribe because you need to know what's coming up next. And catch me. Oh, wow. This is my bonus episode. So catch me in season 4. I'll probably do some little things in between, but I don't really know yet. I'm just trying to really get it together now that I'll have extra time on my hands.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, this means
that could be, yeah. We'll see how that.
Yeah, it's going to be great because I'm just going to pour into my podcast.
Yeah.
So
because you have the
time.
Courage.
The courage. I do. I prayed for that. So thank you. I do. I prayed for trust, increase in trust and increase in courage. And I'm being put in all these situations that I have to be courageous and I have to trust. So I know this is going to be good. Maybe we'll come across each other again because I do write. When I do my bowling sitcom, we'll make sure that we have your trailers.
Well, who knows? Maybe next year I'll be back.
Thank you for your time and for coming and just for being a wonderful person.
Thank you for being.
Thank you, David.
Kindness, right? Merry Christmas. Take care.
Peace. I'm Mia Quinn Maddox. See you next season. All right, Wolf, done.
Can you take a picture of us from that seat? You could stay right there, young lady.
New and in between. Check it out. YouTube. Click, like, and subscribe. Subscribe. Thanks.